Hello everyone, and on today's podcast, video, whatever you want to call it, I want you to take a journey with me. And this journey is going to go down a whole bunch of twists, turns, and windy roads. And I'm going to basically cover three basic things. But the biggest point I'm going to cover is going to be, what is that one piece of the puzzle we're missing in the Delphi murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German? Because I do truly believe Superintendent Doug Carter when he says that they're one piece of the puzzle away. But the question is, what is that one piece? And with all the leaks going on, are these intentional leaks? Are they unintentional leaks? Are they a diversionary tactic to be luring the person who committed this crime into a false sense of security? I'm going to present a bunch of things today and a bunch of evidence that really will make you think and will really make you wonder, boy, just how close are they to solving this? Because I believe they're incredibly close. First of all, let's start out by talking about the murder sheet. And one of the things I want to talk about when it comes to the murder sheet is this. The people doing that podcast aren't amateurs, okay? You have to understand this. These are people, one of them, it's Anya Kane and Kevin Greenlee. One is a lawyer and the other is a journalist. They have proven beyond any doubt that they have source or sources within the investigation, somebody in law enforcement, that are giving them accurate information. But remember early on when Doug Carter and others issued a statement in the middle of the investigation stating that online sleuths could potentially jeopardize the investigation? Were they talking about the murder sheet? Did they know that the murder sheet had a bunch of this information or a source, and law enforcement's concerned because there's so many people involved in the investigation that there's bound to be one or two people leaking things? Is that what precipitated that comment? I'm starting to have a different view of the murder sheet, and I have nothing against them. They're doing their job. They're doing a good job of it. I'm a journalist myself. But they contacted law enforcement when they got the interview transcript of Kegan Kline and told them they were going to publish it, and law enforcement simply asked them to redact certain pieces of information, which they went ahead and did and obliged. Now, we have information again within the last week from the murder sheet claiming that they have a source that states Kegan Kline allegedly placed himself at or near the scene of the crime the day of the murders. I don't know if that's because he got caught up in one of his many, many lies. I don't know if that's because investigators just interrogated him hard enough that they broke him. But something happened that has precipitated action recently. Something definitely happened. We all know, based on these transcripts, that Kegan Kline is a liar. And he's not a very good one at it, at that. And one of the things liars, psychologically speaking, tend to do when they're caught in lies is they start trying to minimize their involvement. It'll go from, no, I wasn't there, to I was there, but it wasn't me. And it kind of sounds like we're at the point where he got caught up in one of those lies, possibly. Because why he wouldn't, after all the lies he's told, he wouldn't just suddenly volunteer, yeah, I was at the crime scene, unless they have some sort of information or proof now that, hey, buddy, you're lying, you weren't. And what has made this even more interesting, obviously, is the fact that the Indiana State Police in August took Kline into custody. He's alleging now that he was at or near the crime scene, according to the murder sheet sources, which have been accurate so far, so we don't want to doubt them. It's just one of those things that, if you take a look here, boy, I think they're a lot closer than they think.
See it in his eyes.
It's easy to throw around the cold case idea. Nah, we're not even close to that.
3 years after the homicides, police are continuing to keep what they know.
The reason I think he keeps saying we're one piece of the puzzle away is because they are one piece of the puzzle away. I think they can potentially put Kline at the scene of this crime. And they've said that they have DNA evidence. But we don't know if it's a partial DNA. We don't know if it's transferred DNA from somebody that wasn't even involved in the crime. Obviously, they're not going to just come out and say to the killer, yep, we have your DNA. We know that the Ron Logan search warrant, they were also talking about animal hairs. But again, even if you have somebody's DNA or a partial DNA match, that's not always a slam dunk case, everybody. Now, scenario 2 here, we have, what if law enforcement's leaks here, I don't know, what if they were intentional? What if, and I tend not to be in this camp. I don't think law enforcement was leaking information intentionally, because I don't think they want to compromise their investigation, and I don't think that they're too happy that the murder sheet has leaked some of the things that they have. And I think that's why they had that late night press conference release where they had to reveal the Anthony Shots account before somebody else did. I think that's why it happened at like 10:30 at night on a weekend, out of the blue, for no reason at all. Because they've been going down this younger suspect and this Anthony Shots profile for some period of time now.
Information is being released today is the result of literally thousands and thousands of hours of extraordinary investigative efforts by Delphi, Carroll County, the FBI, the Indiana State Police, and countless other agencies. This community's
thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. Here's what I think happened. I think the FBI initially thought that it was Ron Logan. I think that the Indiana State Police and Doug Carter thought that Kline either knew or had some involvement, and that they kind of butted heads at some point. I think this is why they made a big deal of this press conference. I think the Indiana State Police are incredibly confident in their version of events. I think they have both circumstantial and now interview and other evidence that really has led them in this direction. These people get a lot of crap from the community, from online sleuthers, you name it. And frankly, they don't deserve that. I mean, we're sitting here just honestly, so many people online who don't have an investigative background or an investigative journalism background like me are online accusing people and committing slander and this and that, when law enforcement is spelling it out for everybody. They're like, hey, we think that this guy, Kegan Kline, knows more than he's telling us. And if that isn't abundantly clear to everybody right now, it's never going to be. Now we have these recent leaks that allegedly, according to the murder sheet sources, put him nearer at the scene of the crime that day. But of course, again, it sounds like he's minimalizing. Well, yeah, I was in a Jeep, I was thereby, but, maybe it wasn't me, sort of thing. Again, that's what liars do. He's caught in a lie. He doesn't want to maximize, the fact that they already had him and the CSAM case against him ready to go to trial for months and months and months now. They don't need to plea bargain with him on that. So I tend to think this plea bargain has something to do, or negotiations has something to do with the Delphi case. Then you have them searching the river. Is he giving them BS information? Is he leading them on a wild goose chase? I don't know. But it sounds like Indiana State Police is sure as heck willing to try and find out. So you want to be real careful about information you share and accusing people. I mean, even years ago, We had this.
Get messages to the public in real time, but on the other side,
we've seen some people trying to make their own connections by putting side-by-side photos on social media, and they'll put names and where these suspects that they believe live.
On social media, accusations include names, pictures, where people work or go to school.
There are some issues with defamation of character.
One Delphi group on Facebook has 24,000 members. Another on Reddit, 30,000.
I mean, it's out of control. And it's out of control to the point that Indiana State Police, within the last 24 to 48 hours, had to come out and state, quote, "There is not an arrest imminent in the Delphi case." So somebody or people are out there spreading misinformation claiming that there is. And people need to understand that even if, and this is a big if in speculation based on the murder sheet sources, even if he has put himself at the scene of the crime or near it, allegedly, and you always want to use the word allegedly. That's important in my profession. But even if he put himself there, that doesn't mean that he's about to be arrested. I'm going to leave this video here shortly, but I want to pull up this video here by the captain because it makes some great points and it involves great critical thinking, which is one of the reasons why I like the captain's channel.
But I really believe that over time we're going to have an idea that we were onto something early on.
Listen to how confident he is. Over time, I really believe that we're going to realize we were onto something early on. Being the CSAM stuff, being